Incumbent Councillor Latham Martin.
Kia ora koutou, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Latham Martin. I'm the current Deputy Mayor of Westland. I'm running for Mayor for one reason, and that is a change of leadership style. There are three things that you may be wondering. Number one, he's too young. Yes, I'm 25. Age is only a number. I'm actually the most experienced councillor around that table. That's very scary. If elected Mayor, this will be my third term on council. Number two, he's too busy. Yes, I'm a busy person. I love giving my time and energy to our community. Should I be elected Mayor, however, I'm realistic in the fact that I cannot sustain a full-time teaching position and will be resigning my position at Kanieri School and investing that time into our community. And of course the question, why now? Well, if not now, then when? If not me, then who? If not, someone else. I've done 2 terms on council and the time is right for me to stand for Mayor. I have the capabilities, I believe, for this demanding role. I'm offering you a change of, a generational change of leadership, and with that comes a change of leadership style. Here's what that will look like. I want to lead a hard-working, team-based and inclusive council, one that responds respectfully to ratepayers and is accountable for every dollar it spends. With a mix of experience and fresh faces, I know we can achieve that. I'll commit to listening to people of all sectors of our community and our wonderful district, and will remain focused on the issues, not the personalities, around the table. We need to work together to embrace the new opportunities that are facing us, for our young people and our old people to be in this community, to be in this district, and for it to thrive as a community, as a group of people working together. I've been part of a group that's been successful in obtaining significant external funding for this council and for this district. One of the things I stand for is, yes, we can disagree with government on issues, and to be frank, who wouldn't with some of the issues that they're proposing at the moment? However, we cannot afford to slap the hand that feeds us. We need to be able to have open, honest and transparent relationships with government that will benefit bringing external funding into our district. I have a thorough understanding of the failings of this current council that I've been a part of. But be assured, it has not been all bad. I can see where the shortfalls are and where we need to go as a council and as a community. Westland District Council has some large challenges moving forward, however, a lot of positive opportunities. We face them. Those challenges are not insurmountable. We will achieve them. Let's not stick with the status quo. I'm excited to be your candidate for Mayor.
Thank you, Latham.
Kia ora everyone. I'm asking you to do something that I don't know that has been done before, and that is actually to vote for me twice. Vote for me for Mayor, vote for me for the Hokitika ward. We truly live in the best place, but that does not mean it cannot be better. A better place to live, a better place to work, a better place to raise your children and for families to truly prosper. I'm awake at the council table. Believe it or not, we have people that have fallen asleep at our council table. I research ideas and issues in depth and strive to ensure that I am researched and bring that voice to the council table. When I believe decisions were not in the best interest of the ratepayers, I've voiced those objections, and I've also worked with my councillors to bring them on board to see things from a different perspective. I enjoy working for and with our community. As a part of a team, I have led the transformation of the governance of Westland High School in my role as chair, and I've also overseen the redevelopment and development of the DWC Westland Sports Hub. Probably one of our biggest projects that's ever happened in this town, a $3 million infrastructure upgrade at no cost to the ratepayers. I stand for working together rather than pulling apart. Around the council table, we need to create more effective working relationships that bring about trust, effectiveness, credibility and accountability to our community. I aspire for a more united and a less divided council. I stand for building communities up and not tearing them down. We need to ensure we talk, listen, consult, engage, and hear our ratepayers and community views on issues. It's the true measure of an effective council. Our climate's changing, our district's changing, we need to start adapting. Planning for major infrastructure upgrades is critical. I have a really positive attitude, the time, desire and energy to give to this role. Please vote 2 ticks, Latham Martin.
The next question is, the waste to energy is not an illegal activity under the district plan. Are there any other legal activities that would concern you? Very broad question. Right. The waste to energy is not an illegal activity, so it's a legal activity under the district plan. Are there any other legal activities that would concern you? No specific subject was mentioned.
Very non-specific question. I guess the first thing to actually phrase is our district plan is 12 years outdated. At the moment, I'm currently working as part of the One District Plan governance group to work to rewrite a district plan for the whole of Taipōtini West Coast. So in terms of what the current operative district plan actually says, it's outdated. It has to be updated, it has to be done, and that is a huge body of work. So are there any things in that consume me? Yes. It's written for an environment that's 12 years ago. It needs to be reviewed, and in terms of that process, it needs to be part of our community's discussion. Our community has to be part of that. So probably a generic answer to quite a generic question, but the reality is our plan is currently operative, although outdated.
On previous councils, the Franz River protection work was not completed, and now hotel insurers are suing for recovery. Explain why the protection work was not undertaken.
It's really easy to get a question like that and just look at a specific issue and target it to rock protection into an area that now is undergoing litigation. So the litigation issue to one side. I was a new councillor, first term, this is my second term of council, where Franz Joseph rock work issues have been done. So the question I think to the community is, what's right? Was it doing a sense of inaction, or was it taking action? You're actually damned if you do, damned if you don't. You speak to people in Franz, they have strong views about what is appropriate to manage that river or otherwise. I'm not an expert on river management. I know we have a pending legal case at the moment, which is obviously subject to legal privilege, and it would be for any councillor, current councillor. We cannot actually talk about that. But looking back as why things were not done, things were done. We just didn't build a rock wall along Franz River. The previous council did not do that, and now that is subject to this claim against council. There is now a rock wall in place, and that in itself is without, has issues around it as well. So, Franz, when you actually look at this question and what it's asking, it's trying to say, well, were we sitting on our hands? The answer was no. However, the political climate has changed at central government, and their priorities have shifted dramatically in terms of what they want to see for Franz. We were working to one outcome, the previous council, change of government, now there's a different way of working. So all of those factors have to be layered over. It's very easy to simply say, oh, the previous council didn't build a wall. Well, it's just as easy to say that this council did. Thank you.
Thank you, Latham.
I'd like to ask each of the mayoral's candidates, in 2 or 3 sentences is great. As a small community, we need probably outside investment more than we'd like to admit. John, you touched on it earlier. How do we approach the issue of dealing with outside people coming here, potentially offering good things? There's 2 sayings. Something's too good to be true, probably is. but opportunity seldom knocks twice. So just wanted to know what each of the mayoral candidates has to say about that. 2 or 3 sentences would be great. Cheers.
Thanks Patrick, thanks for the question, welcome home. Great to have you back. One of the things I think it's important that we are seen to be open for business, red carpet, not red tape. However, as we've seen recently, we cannot just sweep process, compliance with law and things under that carpet and hide due process, because it actually comes back to bite you in the end. Doing the due diligence, the initial investigations first, talking with the community, hearing it as part of council, means that we actually are able to make as a council, your council, an informed decision, and that I think then actually saves us money, saves us time in the long run. Someone else has to... Yeah, good.
What I'd like to hear from the candidates, what do you bring to the table that isn't provided by someone else? What kind of difference do you have?
I think I'm going to answer this question slightly differently, or challenge you to think differently. I could say a lot of things about the skills and attributes that I bring, but I think the most powerful, the most beneficial, and I'd actually challenge you to ask every single councillor that's worked with me, I think I can get the best out of every single person around that table, so they can truly contribute for the betterment of Westland.
What would you be able to bring to promise, not necessarily for our rates to not go up, for our rates to stay the way they are?
Thanks, Mrs. J. Interesting question. I could speak about this for hours. I know the rate system inside and out. Challenge you to ask your councillors if they understand the rating system and how it's applied. The reality is, people want the rating system to be fair, people want it to be transparent, people want to understand how council is using the money that's collected in rates and where it's apportioning that, and is it doing the work that it says it's going to do. That's a fundamental question. Yes, people want rates to be status quo, held or go down. We sat at a council meeting last week where we were faced with the prospect of a $500,000 debt-funded wall to have to be built to protect the Fox River landfill. 2 options: fund it from debt or don't do it. And a third option would be stop doing something that the community has already asked us to do. So the flexibility to stand here and say we're going to freeze rates or cap rates for the next 3 years is not a promise that I think anyone could make. The reality is people want the rating system to be fair, effectively applied. We've worked hard on that in the last 3 years to ensure that people who are running businesses, whether they're in the CBD or outskirts of town, are contributing to the services that those businesses actually benefit from. There was a huge outcry when we actually suggested people that are running Airbnbs, like myself, should be paying a fair share of commercial rates. Huge issues. People didn't want to have to pay more. The reality is it's fair. If you're running a business, you need to contribute to the infrastructure that's required to enable that business to be part of our community. Thank you.
Do we have any further questions? Otherwise, yes, Mr. Simpson.
I have a question for the existing elected representatives. Of all the attributes that make up being a good, diligent councillor, elected representative, would you regard confidentiality as important?
Richard, thanks for the question. Double-edged sword, yes, confidentiality. Council is always going to be considering things that are commercially, legally, financially sensitive. Those things have to be done in a way that is confidential, public excluded, that information is withheld and is not leaked. The reverse of that is transparency around those decisions. Once the decisions are made and the timeline leading up to those decisions, that can be released. to the public. It has to be released, and that's what we need to get better at doing, is actually articulating those decisions and using that session of publicly excluded well. I think you want to have faith and trust in your councillors and your fellow colleagues that information that's presented to them is not going to be leaked. It's different between being an advocate for the ratepayers, being an advocate for transparency. You know, in your lives, there are things that come at you that you need to retain as information that, at this stage, you wouldn't want put out in the public. But there's a time when it's appropriate that that information is made available with a direction and a decision of council, not some rogue councillor going off and saying it's their job as a martyr to be able to get a political win or a score by releasing confidential information. I hope that has answered this question.
What is servitude?
The ideal of giving.
No. Servitude is when you have to work to pay without the ability to get out of that cycle.
Yeah, sorry, I short phrased it.
So my question is this: rates? You think it's fair that all people should pay that business rate, even if they can't afford it, if they're in business?
If they can't afford it. If they can't afford the ability to pay that rate.
That's right.
Yep. So one of the things that, the flip of that, John, is that people were paying too much over their fair share. And it's not about, it's a shift. It was a shift. It's not about trying to, and council, unfortunately, when it applies its rates policy, doesn't look at or cannot be influenced by the ability to pay. Because we can't, other than generally, we can't say, I'm a teacher and I'm on a government salary and the person next to me owns a business and has the ability to earn more money, potentially. So what I'd like to see is that commercial rate, when it's actually applied fairly, wouldn't be something that would actually disable business from happening.
But this is what happens.
So people would say, for example, use an example, hairdressers in the CBD pay to the rockwool protection, highest rate, pay the highest commercial rates because they're commercially zoned, they're in the CBD. Someone can then come in and start up a home-based business, genuinely comply, meet the health regulations and criteria around that business, but completely undercut an established business that's within the CBD. What it actually does is just push things out. Where it's an issue is where you've had businesses outlying the CBD that were existing or are, long-serving businesses in our communities. The way we want to move forward is that so no one can come in and disable and close down businesses that are already existing in our CBDs because they can start something up on the other side. It used to be the other side of Fitzherbert Street and be able to completely undercut and not pay anything other than one residential rate. The other side, if you've got 2 toilets and you're a commercial business, you pay to commercial toilet connections. If you're a residential home-based business, you don't pay that commercial rate.
So you think it's fine for rates to force people into servitude?
No, I don't think it's fine to push people into debt. No, I don't. But rates is a given. Rates is something that we all face. I run a home-based business. I'm up front of that. I went to the council and said, rate me. Please rate me for that home-based business because it's fair. I couldn't stand up here and say, I expect you and a majority of this room that run businesses, whether in the CBD or outside, to pay if I'm running one at home that I'm not contributing to as well. I think to me it's about being fair and principled. And to me,